Well, we're going to continue looking at some great books to learn how to draw, more tips and tricks on drawing. This one today we'll be doing books that are both about life drawing and cartooning. So the first one is this book by Glenn Vilppu, and this is basically a collection of his handouts that he would have for his life drawing classes that he gave a long time ago. This is dated 97, so I guess I bought it sometime after that. And as you can see here, he goes through all kinds of different lesson plans for drawing and quick sketches here that he's done. Looks like maybe they're pencil and just heighten the contrast. Here's some done with a softer pencil, a little bit different looking. Trying to get rhythm in there. And here's some more quick sketches. When he taught, you knew that you were getting a great lesson. Now here's how to draw basic shapes. More basic shapes, pushing and pulling the shapes. Treat them like plasticine, like clay, like silly putty. How to turn that into figure drawing. How to make that into a figure. Basic shapes turned into parts of the figure. There's a rectangular solid, there's a sphere, there's your sphere. The rectangular solid gets rounded edges here. It gets rounded edges here to become part of this cat walking. So Glenn is one of the great teachers. I'm pretty sure he has a website. I'm not sure. I haven't seen Glenn in a few years now. Good advice, do not copy, just analyze the model and then put down on paper what it is you see in your analysis. So if you can get your hands on one of these, so much the better. All of these will be listed in the description. The natural way to draw, I learned about this from old animators back in the old days. Emery Hawkins talked about this book. I think Chuck Jones talked about this book and taking classes from him for a little bit. And he gives you a course. And he gives you little things to do. First half hour, gesture drawing, more gesture drawing. Second half hour, model drawing. On the quarter hour, memory, 15 drawings. Another quarter hour, take a rest. A half hour later, a half hour's worth of gesture drawings and an hour's worth of drawing from the model. Just one drawing. Gives examples by great artists of the past. So this book is all about how to approach drawing, how to approach life drawing. There's nothing in here that is how to approach cartooning, but you apply all these to cartooning. So you can probably get that as a PDF online somewhere. And this one I only have a Xerox of, although it is back in print as a hardback, softback. This is Three-Dimensional Drawing by Andrew Loomis. And here we see how to draw things in 3 dimensions. It makes them look a bit more real. How to compose pictures with thumbnail roughs. What else? How to get drawings on paper to look like they should look. Take that out of there. Using graphs to get your perspective just right so that you can draw a space for your characters to be. Like this guy is in the foreground on this graph that we do on the floor, perspective. This guy is further away, so he's smaller. Vanishing point. This is the eye line here, the midpoint. So many tricks to drawing. How to put characters in a room together. This is the horizon. So that means that you, as the person looking at this, your head is slightly lower than hers, I guess, for this horizon line to be here. Or it could be the same height, and that just happens to be the horizon line. But everything converges in perspective. You put graphs on the walls and the floors and the ceiling, and then you fit your characters in there so that they look like they're actually in that space. Here's one for drawing exterior of houses. More perspective lines, vanishing points. How to draw things in perspective. Rectangular solid, prism, triangle solid. Here's a semicircle solid for a rectangle bottom and then half circles on the edges. Make that in perspective. Skipping ahead, we go into light and shadow. Light and shadow on the human figure. So much stuff. Light and form in comics. Humorous drawings, humorous characters. Things that Andrew has done in his other books. And here's how to draw them, but how to add shading to them. So a really, really good book, The Figure in Light. How does the figure look in light and shadow? Dramatic lighting, how to draw heads, how to get the perspective just right. Like this head is tilted down so it has a different perspective. So that's another really good book to get. This one I like a lot, The Art of Drawing by Willy Pogany. And this book covers a lot of different subjects also, but a lot of basic things that are in other books, starting with perspective, shading, the head, portraits, the eyes, the mouth. Here we see perspective, how it works, how perspective works when you're drawing a house. Shading for where's your light source? Light source is coming from here, so the shadow is down here. How to draw heads in perspective. You have to be able to turn the head in any angle when you're in animation. How to draw eyes, mouths, hands. This is his way of drawing a hand. Thinking of it as a solid piece here with pieces attached to it. How to draw over that to make them look like human hands. Drawing the figure. This is his way of drawing figures. Drawing figures in action. You get all kinds of inspiration looking at books like this. Drawing a muscular figure. So there's lots to learn in these books. This one is by my friend Dave Brain. Gave me my first job in animation so many years ago. And this is a really great book for learning how to draw. And it's for drawing for animation. So all of these are Dave's drawings and how to use the basics of drawing these forms and objects. And all the basic shapes. Like that looks to be, what, some kind of a... Looks like a lantern almost. Lawn sprinkler. So it's a lawn sprinkler. Flowers. This is making pictures, weight and balance in a picture, corkscrew. So here's how to teach drawing human figure. More basic shapes, like everyone tells you. More basic shapes. Drawing action poses. Great action stuff here by Dave. And then, last but not least, Fun with a Pencil by Andrew Loomis, which again goes back a long ways. And this is more cartooning by Loomis. And he has this character here that takes you through all the different steps to draw cartoon characters. Here's his way of drawing cartoon heads. Start with a basic shape, divide it, put your guidelines on, put a nose. That line there was for the eyes. That line there is for the mouth, and then you darken it in. Here's some more heads. Here's some baby heads. Here's how to turn things from a regular drawing into a caricature drawing. Some kids. This is something about how we draw as we get older. We start out drawing like this. The head and the hands are exaggerated. The body is small. And as we get older, the head might stay the same size. The body might shrink a bit. And then we start adding solidity to the limbs. We start adding more stuff to it. And our figure drawing, we hope, is going to turn into something like this, but it takes a little bit of training, a little bit of patience. Here's his way of caricaturing different types, and we go from a large head, small body, small legs, all the way to the human figure, which is small head, 8 heads tall, 7 heads tall. And you see this progression going here as the head shrinks and the body gets bigger, the legs get longer. Now we just see exaggerated. We keep the head the same size and we exaggerate the body types. Again, different head sizes, same shapes, different body types and shapes. So this is Andrew's way of teaching. We see the skeletal figure here, and then we add solids to it, all around it. Because we need that for volume. We have skeletal figure here, stick figure. We add these for volume so that it becomes a solid figure, and then we add more detail to it when we put it in black pencil. It's your basic pose, add solid volume to the limbs, put black pencil over it to solidify it and finalize it. It starts with a little character like this. We can do a skeletal figure here and then add more volume to it to make it look realistic. Here's a little figure that he created just so that you could see the volume. So they do sell mannequins at the art stores, various prices. But this is one that he made way, way back. And it was posable so that he could show you where the volumes are and you could picture more of how those volumes look. So this is a really great book that's been around, I guess, since the 40s and 50s. And here's how we put the figure into space so that we can make a more realistic picture. It shows you right and wrong ways of the perspective not working, like this doesn't really work. This one does. He tells you why. More graphs. You take a graph like this. This is looking down. This is looking down at the room. This space, this is the picture here. This is the top-down shot of where everything is. The chair, the kid on the floor, the round table, the girl standing, the man standing. If we tilt that, now we get the right perspective of how everything works on the picture. So another really great book. And this book is in print again, so you can still find this at your bookstore or where everybody else goes on the Amazon. So that's our lesson for today, is more great books for drawing. And we'll see you next time. Keep drawing and keep having fun.